Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Did It Work? My name's Nina, and today we're doing macaroni and cheese. To be specific, we're doing the best mac and cheese. This recipe is from Ayesha Curry from her book, The Seasoned Life Food, Family, Faith, and the Joy of Eating Well. I'm excited about this one because I haven't had macaroni and cheese since Thanksgiving. So I'm really happy to actually do this recipe. This is on page 166 for those that want to cook along. So let's get started. We're going to start as always, and I'm going to show you what I have out. There's all of my cheese and all the stuff and ingredients that's got to go with it. Okay, so you see I have all the ingredients out. So let's start reading the recipe. First thing, preheat the oven to 425 degrees. Oven is preheated to 425. Did I say 425 or 475? I meant 425 if I did say 475. I am going to butter a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. Here is my baking pan. So I'm going to just take this and rub it along the inside of this pan. The pan's clean, so there's no need for me to make this any more difficult for myself. So, grease the inside of my baking pan, put my butter back up. Next, it says, in a large bowl, combine cheddar, got my 3 cups of cheddar, my butter cubes, that are at room temperature, my sugar, my ground mustard. Yes, it said ground mustard. I had whole mustard seeds, and I ground mine in my little mortem pestle. So my ground mustard and my salt. This asked for kosher salt, so I am using kosher salt. So in a large bowl, combine those. So let me go ahead and give those a quick little toss to combine those. Okay, and I'm going to put this aside. So I'm going to put that aside and go to the next recipe. Next ingredient, not recipe. Bring a large pot. Let me try that again. Bring a large pot of salted water to boil over high heat. You can see my large pot. I don't know why I can't say pot, but I can't. You can see my large pot of water over here that is boiling, and I do have it on high. Let me show this to you. So boiling, and I did salt it as well. So it says, bring a large pot of salted water to boil over high heat. Add the macaroni until al dente, a minute or so less than the recommended cooking time on the package. So here's this asked for 1 pound, and this is 1 pound. I put that in there, and it says boil uncovered 9 to 11 minutes or desired tenderness. So it said to cook it for a minute less than what it says. So I'm going to go with 8 minutes. Okay, so my timer went off in 8 minutes. I checked it. It was still hard. So I put it on for 2 more minutes, which brought me up to a total of 8 minutes, which was a minute under the 9 to 11 minutes that they gave me. So since I've now got that done, it says drain well. Drain well. Here's my drainer, my strainer, my colander, hot pads, and I'm in the sink, and I'm going to drain this well. So got that all in there. I'm going to get the rest of my noodles that were left behind because we want no noodles left behind. Okay, did that. What is next? Drain well while still hot. Dump the macaroni into the cheddar butter mixture and toss well. Here's my cheddar butter mixture. Macaroni, throwing it in there. And I'm going to toss to mix well. This, I am going to say one thing. I look kind of cute tonight, don't I? Let me tell you why. As I'm mixing, let me tell you why. I had gotten all dressed to go out for the first time in California. I found this place. And so I got semi-cute, not completely cute, but semi-cute because I didn't know what to expect. Hence my earrings and stuff. And drove all the way out there. I say all the way, it was like 15 minutes, but all the way out there because I got to make this dramatic, right? Found the place, couldn't find a parking spot. There was no parking lot. So it was just street parking. And I drove around 5 times and finally found a parking spot 3 blocks away. 3 blocks away. I'm going by myself, by the way. So do you really think I was going to walk 3 blocks by myself? No, I wasn't. So I turned around and I came back home and I decided, since I am all dressed, I'm going to shoot a video. So, yes, that's why I look a little bit more dolled up than normal. Okay, that was a nice story that had nothing to do with food, right? Okay. Meanwhile, in a small saucepan, bring the milk to a bare simmer over medium heat. My medium saucepan, medium heat, and my milk. So pouring this in there. I've got to put dishes away as I'm going. This is one recipe that the one big knock that I have on it right off the bat, too many dishes. Too many dishes. We've already had 1, 2, we're on our third pot already. This is macaroni. So I'm sure this is wonderful, Ayesha, but too many dishes. So while I'm letting that come to a bare simmer, I will be watching it. I'm going to go ahead and keep stirring this a little bit more and let all that cheese melt all the way up. So here's another story I'm going to tell you. And this is about my sister, our sister. I'm going to move the camera so we can watch the milk a little bit more. I'm going to tell you a quick story about mine and Sean's sister, Nisi. Rest in peace. Love you. She passed away in, I believe it was December of 2020. So she's no longer with us. But I really have this memory from stories being told more than a memory of it because I was really young and our mother was still living at this time and we were living with our mother. And my sister Nisi made macaroni and cheese for us to eat. She's 7 years older than me. My brother Sean talking about this story and how horrible the macaroni and cheese was because it was so dry, it stuck to the roof of your mouth. So let's hope and pray Aisha's macaroni and cheese is not like that. Sorry, Nisi, for telling that story, but it is funny looking back on it. But it was more funny listening to my brother tell that story. And I wish, again, he was here to tell that story, but he's not. But hopefully this macaroni does not taste like that. I love my sister dearly, but she was not the best cook in the world. My mom was a great cook. Skip my sister. Went to me. Okay, so a bare simmer is literally going to be right around the edges. You're going to start seeing it bubble up. So we're not looking for a full boil. Let me get my book real quick. I didn't take it with me. I'm back. Okay, so meanwhile, in a small saucepan, bring the milk to a bare simmer over medium heat. In a medium bowl, whisk the egg briefly to break it up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that while I am still waiting. Get my medium bowl. My egg is right here. Put that in there. So it says, in a medium bowl, whisk the egg briefly to break it up. Temper the egg by drizzling half of the warm milk in there. I am still letting my milk go a little bit more. It's not at a simmer quite yet. I am stirring it just to make sure it doesn't stick. I don't want scalding milk in here at all. So, okay. It's warm. A bare simmer. A bare simmer. Are you barely simmering yet? It's not barely simmering yet. Okay, I am at a bare simmer. It just took a few minutes to do that. Let me show you what it looks like. Do you see around the edges around here? You see where it's kind of got those little bubbles going? I'm going to call that a bare simmer because I don't want it to do anything more than that. So now I need to temper a half a cup of the warm milk, into the egg while whisking until incorporated. This will prevent the egg from scrambling. So this is tempering the egg. I got a measuring cup again. We did this once before. I'm turning. Okay, so getting half a cup in here. I didn't quite have half a cup, but as we know, if I can point you down, there you go. I am going to start whisking as I'm drizzling. You can see it drizzle, and I'm whisking. You can see inside of this. This is not scrambling because I am moving quickly. I'm moving quickly. Still whisking as I'm drizzling, not dribbling, drizzling. And I just got a little bit more because I did not have a half a cup. I do not have scrambled eggs, as you can clearly see. No scrambled eggs. So what's next? I'm going to turn my fire off because it didn't tell me to, but I've got this at a bare simmer, so I don't want to keep it cooking. Mix the tempered eggs and the remaining warm milk into the macaroni and stir well until everything is evenly coated. So I'm going to move you back over here. So I'm going to mix the tempered egg. This is my tempered egg. My tempered egg and the remaining warm milk into the macaroni and stir well until everything is evenly coated. My milk, my handle isn't hot because we didn't let it get all that hot. So put this in here. Did I scramble the eggs? Gosh. Okay, everyone. I'm going to say I messed up the last recipe because the eggs scrambled. So I had to start over. And so I am back now at tempering the eggs. Now, since my eggs scrambled, I'm going to use a slightly different method than what she said. Now, in there, she says, take half a cup of milk, whisk it in. So I am doing that. You can see that I'm doing that. I did get my milk back up to, I didn't do a bare simmer. I did a complete simmer in the milk this time so that I could definitely get it up to temperature. And once I did that, I turned the fire out from under it. So in her recipe, she says to mix the tempered egg and the remaining warm milk into the macaroni and stir. What I am going to do instead is I'm going to take and finish putting the milk into the egg, or I'm sorry, I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to put the egg into the milk and stir it as I do that. I think what happened, because when I mixed the milk into the tempered eggs and macaroni mixture, that's when my egg scrambled. I think it scrambled because I could not whisk the macaroni mixture fast enough for the milk, and it scrambled my eggs. So this way, I actually can. So as you can see, I can actually whisk as I pour without any milk sitting on those eggs for too long. When I did it into the macaroni mixture, I was not able to do that, which had me scramble the eggs. So when you see me, I'm going to be kind of hot, sweaty, and disoriented because I had to start over again with the noodles and everything because everything in there was scrambled. So now I'm going to take this mixture that I have here, and as you can see, because you can see it, nothing is scrambled. The eggs are in there and it's smooth. There's no chunks. So now I have my egg and milk mixture and I'm pouring it into my macaroni and my cheese mixture. Nothing can scramble this time because it's already incorporated. So I don't have to worry about that scramble. So now let's pick up where we left off. Again, I'm sorry if I'm all hot and sweaty now because I was doing double time to get caught back up so I can continue this recipe. So we mixed the tempered egg and the remaining warm milk into the macaroni, stirred well until everything was evenly coated. So I'm going to stir well. So again, what I did differently than what the recipe said is I did my egg and milk mixture all in one, and then I added my egg and milk mixture to the macaroni, which is not how it actually states in the book. The other thing that I did differently is I let it come to a simmer and not a bare simmer because I think my milk may not have been hot enough. Again, those might have all have been my mistakes and not Mrs. Curry's mistakes. Those may all have been mine. So I'm not going to blame that on her. But that is what I did differently. That way I was able to temper better and not get scrambled eggs. Okay, what comes after that? In a medium bowl. Okay, so we need another bowl. I told you she loves dishes. She loves dishes. So not all of my cheese is completely melted, but that's okay. It's going in the oven so it can melt. And I'm going to set this aside a minute anyway, so that is still fine. Again, I'm going to put this over here, set that aside, and I'm going to get another medium bowl, and I'm going to mix my Parmesan cheese, my pancetta, which I put in the fridge because I had to start everything over, my pancetta that is diced, My Parmesan cheese was shredded. It asked for 4 ounces of pancetta, finely diced. I got mine diced from the store. It was diced when I bought it, and it was about 4 ounces, 1 cup. So did that. Um, where am I at? Together, uh, panko, the panko crumbs, and my fresh parsley. Parsley. I don't know what is wrong with my English today, but you can clearly tell something's wrong with it. This will create a yummy crust. Okay, so have all that. I'm spreading this with my hands. You know me and my hands. So I'm spreading that with my hands. I did not cook the pancetta because she didn't tell me to. So I'm hoping it's going in the oven. So that's where it's got to cook. Let me wash my hands off real quick. I missed something. Pour the contents of the bowl into the prepared baking pan, spreading macaroni and sauce evenly. I completely skipped that paragraph. That was supposed to be before this, but that's okay. We've got this done. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to get my baking pan. I'm going to stir this up again real quick because I set it aside. I'm cleaning up my mess a little bit because I got a mess going on over here. Let me trade these out real quick so you can see what I'm doing. Since I set that aside, I'm going to stir this again real quick. Again, that cheese has got to melt, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. If you can't tell by the look on my face, I have a lot of concerns about this recipe because everything in my soul says it should not look this way, but we're going to wait and see. We're going to wait and see. Okay, spreading this, pouring the contents of the bowl into my prepared baking pan. This is my prepared baking pan. Okay, got that in there. Spreading this out. Right. Sprinkle the crumbs over the top of the macaroni. This will create a yummy crust. Okay. You can see what I'm doing, so I'm spreading this over. And it's got to be a lot of praying going on with this one because, as I've already mentioned, I don't have a lot of hope for this right now. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. I corrected my first mistake, and I'm back on track. So bake until the top is golden brown and bubbling, and the pancetta is crispy. 25 to 30 minutes. Okay? So we're going in the oven. Okay, so the alarm is going off. So here we go. Okay, it's looking promising. All right, this is what we've got so far. I'm going to let this brown up a little bit more. Okay, alarm is going off, so it's been 5 more minutes. So let's see what we have. Here we go. It's nice and brown. I think we're going to call it a day after this one. All right, so that's what we have. So let's do this tasting. This is the picture. And what we have. Somewhat, sort of, kinda. Let me see if I can get both of them up at the same time. Here we go. Pictures aren't bad, not too far off. So I'm tasting it hot. So I'm gonna scoop it out into my little eating thing. And as I scoop it out, the cheese doesn't have the melt that I want on it. You can clearly see it's kind of separated. It's not scrambled eggs because my eggs did not scramble. The cheese just did not melt evenly. Is pretty much what happened here. Is the cheese did not melt evenly. So I'm gonna go and try flavor wise how this is. The pancetta did crisp up, so that is a nice thing. So it did give it a crisp top. So here we go. Did it work? Right now, I'm at a no, but let's try the flavor wise. So I do like Ayesha Curry. I watched her cooking show, um, and I enjoyed watching her cooking show. This macaroni and cheese did not work. Um, I do like the sharp cheddar, but I would still have mixed it with more than one cheese. I may actually do another video tomorrow, use some of the ideas of this in her video, but also use some of mine. I don't like the flavor of this at all. I don't want to take another bite. This is not to be mean, not to be cruel. Not all recipes work. Um, I almost think there's things that she wanted us to do, but just didn't write them down. Maybe this recipe was not meant to be done step by step, but meant to kind of make it your own as you do it. And I won't say improvise, but read into things. Um, so we're going to try again tomorrow. I am going to try to resurrect this recipe by, I'm going to try to resurrect it by using some of the framework for it, but making this to where it's got to be creamy. Like I'm going to keep the top. I'm going to also put the ground mustard in it because I am wanting to see what it does. But I'm going to use some different cheeses, make it a little bit creamier. I still will bake it, but this is going to the trash. So this one did not work. But we'll try another one out of this book and see if it works. But tomorrow, I am going to try another macaroni and cheese because I had a pork chop out that I was going to cook and eat with my macaroni and cheese. And so I'm still going to do that. So until next time, cook with your soul, love with your heart. My name's Nina.